I've been experimenting with stitch combinations to make crochet scrunchies. This one has a lovely lacy effect using a combination of chains and triple crochets on a foundation of half double crochets. For my materials, I used variegated bamboo cotton, a 3.5mm hook, and of course a hair tie. Start with a slip knot to connect your yarn to your hook. This is my preferred method of doing a slip knot. And then we're going to connect our hair tie to our yarn and hook by doing a slip stitch. So it's insert your hook into the hair tie, pull up a loop, and then pull through both the loops on your hook. Now I'm going to chain one just to give myself a little bit of height. And this scrunchie is made by, as I said before, half double crochets all the way around, and then when you get to the next row I'll tell you what to do there. So that's my first half double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. That is how a half double crochet is made. So I'm going to half double crochet right the way around this hair tie. When I did my trial, it ended up being 72, but it will depend on the circumference of your hair tie as to how many you need. You don't need any specific number, just as long as it fills up your hair tie. So I'm going to keep going, and then I will meet you back at the beginning of the next round. I've completed my 72 half double crochets, and it's quite full. I'm now going to start on the second round. I'm completing my first round by slip stitching into that first half double crochet in the beginning of the round. So insert your hook into the top of that first half double crochet, and then pull your yarn through both loops on your hook, and that's a slip stitch to complete the round. For our second round, we're doing a combination of trebles and chains. We'll start by chaining 3. That will count as our first treble. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll chain another 3. 1, 2, 3, which is a chain 3. Now we're going to do a treble into the same stitch that we did the slip stitch into. So we're going back on ourselves. So a treble is yarn over twice, insert your hook into that same stitch that we did the slip stitch into and started our chain 6, pull up a loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook. You're now going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. We've completed a treble. So we've actually got 2 trebles with a chain 3. Chain another 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do another treble into that same stitch. So yarn over twice, insert your hook into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. So you've now got this fan shaped 3 trebles separated by 2 lots of chain 3. Let's repeat that in the next stitch. So we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to do a treble in the next stitch. You can see the next stitch there. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, and then pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through those 2. Then we're going to chain 3, then we're going to do another treble, yarn over twice into the same stitch, then we're going to chain 3, and then yarn over twice to do another treble in the same stitch. Excuse the cat walking past. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That completes our second cluster of trebles. Chain 3 to start our next cluster, and then yarn over twice, and we're going to do a cluster in the next stitch. So if you find the next stitch next to your the very next stitch after your second cluster, we're going to insert our hook in there and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, chain 3, yarn over twice, and then we're going to do another treble into that same loop or same stitch, and then chain 3 and yarn over twice to do a treble into that stitch again, and then chain 3 and another treble, we've completed a third cluster, so chain 3, yarn over twice, and we're going to do another treble, so it's into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2 loops to complete the treble, chain 3, yarn over twice, back into the same stitch to make another treble. So basically we are just repeating trebles, a chain 3, a treble, a chain 3, a treble into each stitch as you go along, and it will start to create this ruffled lace effect. You could also skip a stitch, so do every alternate stitch you can do your cluster of trebles into. It creates a bit less of a ruffle. Mine, I did half and half, so you can see how the fans, the lacy fans are being formed there, and I just love the way that they sort of folded back on themselves, and the colors just looked so pretty. I'm going to carry on repeating this pattern all the way around, and I will see you back at the end of the round. I've reached the end of the round. I've literally got one cluster left to do. I ended up skipping every second stitch and only did a cluster into every alternate stitch because it was getting a little bit full as the sort of lacy parts folded back on themselves. So I'm chaining 3, and then I'm going to do a treble into the middle stitch here. So I'm skipping a stitch and going into that middle stitch, and I will complete my treble and then my chain 3 and then a treble and a chain 3 and a treble, and then I will show you how to finish off the round. So I've completed my last treble. I'm going to chain 3, 2, 3, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 from the beginning of the round. So actually we chained 6, so if I go into the halfway into that, it would be the third chain along, and then I will pull through and snip and tie off my work. But I just wanted to show you how lovely the scrunchie looks. It's really ruffly, and the chain 3s have folded back on themselves and made a lovely effect. I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. I'm sorry if it wasn't too clear. I realized I didn't film the beginning parts of the clusters very well, but if you've got knowledge of trebles and chains, it should be fairly easy, and it is really forgiving. So if you don't put the hook into the correct stitch, or you skip it a few stitches, it's really not a problem because of the fullness of this stitch combination. So happy crocheting, and you can tie off and weave in your ends, and I hope to see you again soon.